So it looks like finally Dagger listened to everybody and upgraded their thigh braces that hadn't been upgraded in, I don't know, 17 years. So you know what, I think it's about time. So I guess hopefully in my lifetime I will see another upgrade, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But right now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna like show y'all how quickly I can outfit it, how much foam I put and where I put it, because I do like the upgraded thigh braces. But there is a piece that comes on there. Right now it comes out of the box just standard. I've got a factory setting like this. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kind of show you how quickly I can outfit it and get it ready for the rip. Okay, so what I'll do first is I'll do kind of like a rapid fire of what you get inside this bag. This is their outfitting bag. Pretty nice bag, you know, it's a little mesh bag. You couldn't carry a lot in it, but you could probably carry a helmet and some like some shoes or something in it. And what I'm gonna do, let's just go ahead and take it all out of the bag. And first thing I see, I get these funny things falling out. If you can see what those are on the top of these things, what I'll do is fold them over and look at it there. You see a right and an L. It has right and L, and this is the more. So more what? Well, more aggressive thigh hooks, and that's what those are. There's less is on here. So you got the less on here and the more right here. So we'll put these aside for now. And then it looks like they're still including these foam pieces. Actually, I'll pull up this right here. So you get a little set of instructions with it like that. The instructions, so this is gonna be the right, these are smooth pads. Basically think of it as going where your heel goes down right here like that on that side. That's where the right and left is. Me personally, I don't use a seat pad unless it's a very, very deep boat, but you know what? It's a really good quality seat pad, has a little arch on it. They used to have these little pill and stick tabs that never worked, so we won't need that right now. These are the left and right bulkhead wedges. So you can see the back of them have like Velcro. This is the outside of the hook side of the Velcro, and on the bulkhead is the loop side of the Velcro, which is very strong Velcro. It's actually stuck on here pretty good. You'll peel it off the bulkhead before you'll peel it off of these, but I'll show you how those things go on there. So there's those. And a pack of hip pad shims, 4 wedges. That's what I'm calling a wedge, by the way, just like that. And just 4 flat shims, so a total of 8 if you added them all together. Inside of here you get a little sticker, just like that, a little Dagger sticker. You get this called an MSO. This is a manufacturing state of origin, is what an MSO stands for. In whitewater you don't need it that much, but if you had a fishing kayak or something like that, you're probably going to need it for registering your motor and getting your lake numbers and all that. But what you really need in this thing is this right here, this little guy. And what this is a number 4 Allen key. Hey Dagger, could you give me some more plastic? You know it is Earth Day. Let's get rid of that. So what I have here is the number 4 T-grip. You can see that. And what I like about this new system, it fits every single bolt on this boat finally. Bolt on the boat. So boat bolts. And I absolutely love that, because normally what I had to do was use this key to tighten the seat and then a Phillips head screwdriver on these things. And I'm not going to move the seat. So just a tip for y'all is what I do is when I get a boat in like this, I leave it in the factory position. The best way to tell where it's at is you see your seat tower drops down right here. I just make sure that that's flush on each side. This doesn't let you know where your seat is located. This middle bolt is basically, should always be right in the center. You shouldn't pull your wall forward or back. When you move the seat, that's just gonna move with it, and then you'll tighten it down. I'm gonna show you a little trick that I do with the backband. Number 1, I unhook all the clips. So you see these little slide locks right here? What I'm gonna do with these slide locks is I'm gonna actually tighten this up so I don't max out my ratchets. I like my ratchets to be a little tight. And how I do this, I pull this one all the way out like that. And then I'll pull the ring, move that, and then just like this. Y'all see that? I probably went 2 inches there, and I'll do 2 inches on the other side. So that's how I adjust the back band to keep the ratchets from maxing out, because with this newer thigh brace, what I did notice, you don't have as much ratchet. So it seems like you've only got 6 to 7 inches, which 6 to 7 inches on per side is a lot of adjustment if you think about it. So, but you know, I like my ratchet starting back there. So let's go ahead and do the other side. Okay, so now that I've adjusted these 2 sides right here, what I do is I'll tighten down the hold down strap right here. And by the way, if you ever have to access this back area, the best way to do is unhook all of the clips, and then you can just shove stuff down in there. So now my back band is tightened up back here. So now what that does, that helps with the ratchets not maxing out. So it looks like they're included this POP tag again. They got rid of these for a while, but here's what the POP tag is gonna look like. It says Ender on it, kind of goes over the specs. I actually like this because it helps the consumer look right away while it's in the store. So we'll put this aside. I wanna keep that, maybe for my walkthrough video. So now the hip pads. So the hip pads, what I'm gonna do, they've got, Dagger made it pretty easy. So remember everybody, these things wrap around the actual backband strap. So there's Velcro on that. This is one of the best designed hip pads in the history of hip pads. I will argue that with you. And what I do with almost all Daggers, I do one wedge and one just flat shim, just like that. Wedge and flat shim is all I do. And I just grab it, shove it up in there like that. Now loosen these before I put it on there, these clips. Pull these off. And you can see right here how you would adjust it if you were ever going to adjust it. Hey, I did see they put foam in there. That's good. So there's foam on the outside of the seat to keep it from moving around. So what I like to do, run that down through there like that, and then clip it back on and tighten it down. And there is a little piece of Velcro right here on the outside that you will do that. So I'll tighten that down. There you go. So let me do the other side, then we'll move on. Okay, so there's the back band and hip pads. That if I did that fast, I could probably do that in less than a minute or two. Pretty easy. And if you ever want to put a seat pad in, what you're going to do for the seat pad, there's a hook right here and a hook under here, just so you know. There's little bungees right there. It just slides in like that, and that's how you put the seat pad in. Pretty simple. This is their new Engage thigh braces. Let me bring you in and let you get a closer look at this thing. I feel these are the best thigh braces in the industry right now, adjustable thigh braces anyway. Everybody else is kind of going molded in thigh braces. These are still adjustable, and they have 5 adjustments on this. You can go forward, back, in, out, and then you can remove pieces on the back. And so there's a lot of adjustments on here, so you can actually make them easier, make them more aggressive, less aggressive. What I'm going to do is change out the pieces, and I'll give you kind of an honest opinion on how quickly we can change these in out. So let's do that now. Let's just remove it completely. So there's a well nut and a washer on this bottom side that look just like this. So there's a well nut and washer. Do not lose those. I put them right there. There's that. Same thing on that side. And then this is just like this. Just loosen that up. Once that comes out, you are ready. And then, oh, you got to take the ratchets out. So taking the ratchet out, check this thing out, everybody. So when you take it out, this is what it looks like. There's a few things going on here. There's a little padded pocket right here. If I really like that. That's that little flappy thing. And you know I love my flaps, because look at that thing. It might be flapping in the wind, but you know what? It's pretty cool how they did that. That's a big, nice padding. That's probably a 1/2 inch of padding. So you see what they've done here? There's this little sliding, it looks like there's a little sliding bracket inside there, right up here. It's basically a little sleeve, like a little thing that slides, and that's how you would loosen and tighten that up. If you just want to move it forward and back, don't take that out. Just loosen and take these out and then go, because these have a series of holes on the front right there and a slot back there. Now, something that's cool on this thing, you can remove this outer piece. So just so you know, there's 3 pieces to this. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 pieces of this. I'm not going to mess with this piece at all, but I'm just going to let you know you can take it out and you can move it in and out. It's got a nut capture on the inside, how you can move this thing in and out. But right now, what I am going to take out is these things. These are not interchangeable with other Dagger boats, so don't start with me in the comments. Hey, when are we going to get those for our codes? Hey, when are we going to get that for my Nova? Well, you know what? Buy a new boat and you'll get it, and then take it out and then retrofit it. So it looks like this is very well done. That looks really good quality. They did a good job on that. It's sewn around that edge. That was smart to sew it like that. So this is the right side. So what they're calling it, so think of your right leg is the right side. There's the less and the more, just so you know. That's what it looks like, less and more. It does look like you get about a 1/2 inch more grab on your thigh. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and switch these out. Looks pretty simple. Well, that was pretty easy. Well, there you go. There's the more. That looks good. That was easy. So there's no padding up under here because you don't really need it. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna line this up. Let's put this one in. Let's go ahead and move this out. I'm gonna sit in it before I adjust anything, so don't lose these. Oh, that feels good. That's like a glove. I'm gonna put the back one in first, like this. Make sure you get the little, I could see that being an issue. See how that, I don't really, you know what I wish they would have done? What I would have done is cut out a groove around here. I would have cut a groove out so that would fit cleaner. If they would have grooved that in the mold, that would have a cleaner fit. You know what? I wasn't there to tell them that, so that's my fault, I guess. Y'all can blame me for that not working. So I'm gonna put this back one in first. Okay, back one's in. And the reason I did that, because I want the back one in, because I'm gonna move mine with an inward angle like that. So I'm gonna be on the end right here. You kind of want to do that while it's out of the boat. I'm gonna take this back out because it's hard to get around that wing and get this back one right here. There we go. See how easier that was? So once you find that, this is just my, and by the way, this is just my personal preference. You guys can do whatever you want. Now let's try it. Let's try that. Oh, see, that feels great. That is very nice. Oh, that's got good control. Let me tighten that down. I'm gonna get back out to tighten it down. Okay, now that I have that aggressive one on there, you can see how good that looks. See how I've got a turn? That worked out. They did a really good job on that. That does not look easy to do. This is all injected molded, so I have worked with injected molded molds and parts. This is not the cheapest thing to do, and this is very high quality, very impressive. Good job, Dagger, for pulling that off. This is not easy to pull off an adjustable thigh brace with this much adjustment. So now what I'm gonna do is put this thing back on, grab my little screw. And one thing I did notice, they got screws with flanges on them. Look, there's a flange head on that. That is a completely upgraded part. They didn't have that. A little flange would help disperse that load a lot cleaner. So I'm gonna leave that loose. I'm going right on number 3. I'm leaving it in the position that it is. By the way, there's 2 sides to every washer. Shiny side there, kind of non-shiny side there. Always make sure that the bite, the way you can feel it is feel your fingernail right there. I don't know if you care, but you know what, I'm telling you anyway. You're probably like, shut up, who cares? It's a washer. That is a big well nut. But it works out perfect for this application, which is hilarious that we figured that out years ago. Okay, so now I'm set. So now you're like, okay, you didn't put your thing back in. What I do is I put a little bend at the end. You don't have to really worry about this one much. This goes extremely, extremely well. Watch how easy this one works. This is one of the better ones that I've done. Look at that. It goes so easy. There you go. Look at that. You might want to check that bolt too. Make sure that that's tight. I'm sure it's tight out of the factory, but yeah, that one feels pretty tight. Everything looks good. Now it's just tightening it up and we're all good to go. So let me go ahead and tighten this up. That's awesome. Let me set in it and show you the difference between the left and right, because the left has the aggressive and the less, and this has more, less and more. That feels pretty good right there. I think we nailed it. Less on that side, more on that side. You can see right there. Yeah, that works good. Ratchets seem to be in a better position. I noted that in my little quickie demo. Ratchets are in a better position for locking in. That feels really good, everybody. I think, whenever how that, yeah, that feels good. Yeah, let's do the other side. Completely left and right side are in there. Feels pretty solid. Once you bring the bulkhead, now if you're down here grabbing on these, that feels a little bit like it flexes some, but when you're up here like that and the bulkhead's pushing, I think it's solid. That feels good. Now let's go ahead and let me show you what I do on the bulkhead, because they did some things on the bulkhead that really surprised me too. I'm gonna take off each knob. So you get these little red knobs, they call them poly knobs. They're some bulkhead adjustment knobs. Dagger just uses one. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull this up some. give me a little easier area to work with it. Now that I pulled it forward, I'll show y'all exactly what's going on. So you see the bulkhead here, it's still the same toe cups, but one thing I noticed that Dagger did, they didn't have to do this. They've actually, this is a different bulkhead. To me, it's wider on the top. You see this top part, it's wider up there. And because these boats are so big and planing surface, this area right here was a gap with the older bulkhead. That really fills out nicely. Good job that Dagger's still like focusing on safety, and they added this flange. That looks like it's a solid inch past the bulkhead on that outside right here. So I did notice that there is a new bulkhead in here, and they're using colored parts. Crazy that. I think there's 3 different colors on their parts. Red, blue, black, maybe something else, who knows. But to adjust these things, what you're going to do, it's the same deal. It's just basically these 2 bolts here. You don't take them all the way out. You just loosen them up. And once you kind of get them loose, you see how you can lift them up and out. So what I do, I lift them up and out like this, and then I just get them kind of snug. Then I sit down in the boat, push it forward. Then I put the foam on there, then push it forward again, then lock these down, and then I'm good to go. And then the bulkhead's set. So let me do that now. And by the way, these bars will slide in and out. So make sure your bars kind of slide out and it's very even. Now that I'm where I want to be, I'm going to go down and just cinch these down right here. That's all I got to do. And then add my foam. And then once I add my foam, I might go down 1 more adjustment screw. So what I do, I count the holes per side and just match it on each side and then tighten it down. Yeah, this seems like a lot. You know, you could paddle it just without foam and just go. But if you want to do it right and do it, take a few minutes, get it right, and you'll never have to touch it. It's like set it and forget it. So let me go ahead and tighten these up and get the foam on there. Then we'll go from there. Okay, so now these are nice and tight. Look how solid that plate is. So now what I'm going to do is take the left side. This is the pillar. And by the way, remember I said, make sure that little U shape goes that way, and see how the foam just locks in there? There's a wedge, and that's wedged so your heel, so your toe is sitting in there, and it's kind of got a tilt to it, like a 45 degree. Very comfortable. One of the most comfortable bulkheads in the industry, in my opinion. And then in an event of an impact, all of the impact's going to go on this heel and smash that down. So you're going to do that, and take this one and put right over that like that, pill and stick, and that gives you 3 inches of impact foam, and it is a lot cleaner look when you put that on there. See how nice that looks right there? So I'll put that on next once I get the other side put on. So there it is, everybody. That is completely installed. Always make sure your knobs are tightened down as tight as they go so they never come off. And if you're not all the way down, it's going to be able to break and pull that through a lot easier. So make sure those are very tight. You can see I've got these as tight as they go. There's all of the padding on there. Big, nice, flat padding. I can't go over. Never have a gap up here. You don't want a gap back there. Very solid. This feels extremely safe. Probably one of the safest boats. Probably one of the safest whitewater kayaks in the world. Outfitting. So the hip pads are done. And by the way, you know what? I didn't even look at this, but they included a full set of instructions on all of the stuff on the back. But just in case you didn't have that, you know, you had this was the outfitting, and then this is how to adjust the engaged thigh brace. You know, they suggest you go to a swimming pool, try it out, but you know what? My backyard is sometimes a swimming pool after heavy rain, so that works out just fine anyway. And I've got these completely adjusted, the engaged thigh braces. Very impressive. They did a really good job on this. Everything worked extremely well. I see no issues with this. Yeah, and then take your tool and just stick it right back here. Make sure it's nice and level. My tool stays with me right there. So that way, if I have to adjust anything on the river, I can. Bulkhead, thigh brace, whatever. But yeah, let me get this thing on the water, and I will have more content coming. I'll do a full walkthrough of the design and on-water review. So see you in the next video. Okay, I have officially been engaged. So I do not need this anymore. There you go. Nice clean deck.